Okay, all right. Right after this, we're going to play Mini Bosses. Again, you and me. We'll see who wins. Because you look like you're doing a whole bunch of nothing.
Join the team.
Hey, this is the McGuire Review, and today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new one from Brotherwise Games, which is Boss Monster 3. Are you ready? Yes, you are. Let's get locked in and ready to go. All right, Bear, let's get started. We've got the brand new one, Boss Monster 3. Now, it is called Boss Monster Rise of the Mini-Bosses, and this is not out yet. This will not hit retail until the August time frame, so I think we're probably going to see a release around that Gen Con time frame, but this does come out in August per the sites that are out and what they have listed. I will say that you will find this listed on most sites as an expansion, and technically it is Boss Monster Rise of the Mini Bosses is an expansion to Boss Monster, but it really is the third installment of this game. So I like to call it Boss Monster 3, and it is a standalone. All right, so I do want to make sure that is clear. It isn't required to have the other expansions and or bases to be able to play this game. It is a standalone expansion experience, truly a Boss Monster 3. And they've once again done it really nicely. I mean, with each one of the Boss Monsters, you can see that I have them all here. I'm a huge Boss Monster fan. This is by far my favorite card game out there. I mean, for so many different reasons, but you know, with the first one they came out, excellent game, excellent base system, and they've just used that to build onto it for each one of the other releases that they've had. So Boss Monster 2 kept the base system. It wasn't a totally different game, added some more mechanics and different components. Same with Boss Monster 3 here. They've added some different mechanics and different things that you can experience. And I will show you here that I do have, we'll set some of these things over here. I do have quite a few of the other add-ons as well. I've got the Boss Monster Implements of Destruction. I've got the Boss Monster Crash Landing, making it the 5-6 player game. We've got here 29 new cards for the Implements of Destruction. And then this very small expansion here called the Paper and Pixels, which, I still keep it. I have got it open. I use it, but I still keep it in that little wrapper there. And then I did recently pick up this as well, which I do recommend this if you have not seen it. It comes at a super low price point, but it's just a little box with a nice little plastic handle that you can put all of your stuff in. If you want to go to a friend's house and take the whole system, you can put it in there. And it does come with some extra little goodies in there. It's got a pack of little cards, as well as some dividers, which are really cool. You can use those to divide up your different types of cards. It's got like the Epic Hero, and it's got the Boss and Room. So each one of them is a little bit different. These are really cool. So I do recommend if you're into the Boss Monster platform or game, and you do have quite a few of the games and or expansions, you might want to get this just to make it easy to carry around all of your stuff. So I'm going to set that right up here. I'm actually going to move this over here because, Bear always gets on me for putting stuff in front of him and he can't see, and that is a problem. Okay, so as we're going through the game, Bear's going to load up a video here that you can take a look at some of these cards just to see the new pixel artwork that they do have on everything that's included in the third installment here of Boss Monster. And you can see they do, again, we've got the bosses, the epic heroes, the spell deck, the regular heroes, and the base rooms, as well as you're going to find your mini bosses here, and then a brand new component, which is these little coins right here, and we'll talk about those in just a second. So I do want to hit the book. We're not going to go in depth in this video around play style of how the game, we will talk about the mechanics of the game and the play. We're not going to do an actual play out of the game. You will be able to find that in other Boss Monster videos that I've done. I've probably done a video on most of everything that you see sitting here, so you can go check out those videos if you want to see the actual base mechanic or see the game kind of played out. So in the book here, you'll see it is a very simple book. Does have some text and artwork. Very, very simple layout, and everything that you really need to be able to play this game, you're going to find right here on this little quick start guide that they do include. And I really love games that take this route and include these little quick start guides. Just makes it really easy. And you'll see, there's the rules, the layout of the game, A few extra things there on the back. You really could just read this card and you're up and running. So let's talk about the new things that you're going to find in Rise of the Minibosses. There are going to be two main new things that they're going to add on to the base boss monster system, and that is one, our coinage right here, which I absolutely love this component. I really liked how they, one, just the look of it. It's got that nostalgia sort of feel of the old school gaming, getting those little golden coins and the great pixel artwork that these guys utilize in their game. Just absolutely awesome. I really do love these, and they'll be used. You'll actually start the game with 3 of these coins. Each player will, but you'll gain these coins and you'll lose these coins with different rooms that you'll get, and you'll build into your dungeon. And you will need these coins for the second and most important addition here to the new Boss Monster 3, which are the mini bosses. The mini bosses, once you get them, you'll be able to lay them down on top of your rooms. Now, you won't ever be able to put too many bosses right next to each other. You got to have them kind of separated, at least by a card, but you can put those mini bosses right down on top of the rooms, and then when it's kind of reveal phase of the game, you'll show that mini boss, and you will tuck that mini boss under the room, and now that room will have, quote-unquote, a mini boss in it. So it's interesting because when you do start the game, you'll get 5 of these room cards, you'll get 2 spell cards, and you'll get a boss card. Now, when you start the game, you'll have your boss, and you'll have one, we'll just take this one here, one room card right to the left of that boss. And basically, you'll flip over your boss, and you'll flip over your room card, and whoever has, the highest experience point, you'll go in order, it's the player order, is by the experience point of your boss. Now, your boss at the end of the dungeon, and you can only have 5 rooms, that makes up your entire dungeon, but once that happens and you do build out 5 rooms over the course of gameplay, and you lay down your rooms each time it's your turn, then your boss is going to be able to activate their power. And that's going to have a fairly good effect on the game. It's going to be a pretty big power. And up into the third one here, that's all we had was the main boss in the dungeon. Now, the rooms are pretty deadly themselves, but you only had that main boss. Now we have these mini bosses. So if we go ahead and we look through this deck here, and let's find some mini bosses. Here's one here. Here's another one. Jinx. Let me find another one. Bear, go ahead and load up the video. You guys can take a look at the artwork of some of these cards. Just see how cool these are. Here's another one. Here's another cool one. So we'll just grab those for now. And these are some of the new mini bosses. And what you'll find is these mini bosses will have the awesome artwork on them. They'll have a name up top, and they'll have 3 sort of areas of the card. And each one of those are levels of the mini boss. So you can see right here that this will be level 1, and then you will have level 2, and then you will have level 3. And each one of those levels do cost a coin to activate. That's where the coins come in. And they do different things. So looking here at Brass Knuckle Mini Boss, if he's on level 1, you've paid a coin. So let's say it was your turn. And let's say this was our dungeon that was built out, and we wanted to play a mini boss. We'd take that and we'd set it right there. Now remember, for the base play of the game, you can always set a normal room over the top of another normal room. If you just want to get rid of a room that's there and refresh it out with something else, you can always do that. Then you have upgrade rooms, where you have to match the treasure type on the card. Now every card has a treasure type. And if you have an upgrade room, as long as you got an upgrade room that matches your treasure type, you can upgrade a room and make it more deadly. Now mini bosses can be set on top of any room. They just can't be sat right next to one another. And it offers sort of that mini boss experience as you're going through the dungeon and trying to kill the heroes. That's the point in this game. You're the dungeon. You're kind of the enemy, taking out the heroes as you lure them into your dungeon based on your treasure types. Whoever has the most of certain type of treasure types of the heroes that are presented will lure those heroes into their dungeon. And what's going to happen is you're going to flip over that mini boss, and you're going to slide it right under the room, and you're going to put it right on level 1 there, where only that first coin is showing, and then you would pay a coin to be able to activate that mini boss, which just says this room has +1 health. So it makes this room have another health, or essentially do another damage to the hero that's going through. Now, at any point in time, once you get around to your turn again, and you would want to upgrade this mini boss attached to this room, you can then pay another coin and you'll just slide that card up and now you'll be on level 2, which says once per turn when a hero dies in this room, draw a room card. You may immediately build that room. Okay? And then the third level up you can do, again on another turn, you cash in another coin and you can level it up to the third level, which it says double this room's damage until end of turn, and then you reset to level 1. So that's a really nice mechanic because every mini boss has these 3 levels. And what this allows you to do is get that power from level 1, get that power from level 2, or you may just really want the power from level 1 and you may just keep it that way. But once you get to level 3, you do get one extra big boost, one big extra power that this mini boss will give you. And it is a good boost. I mean, I would say so, Bear. Per the other 2 levels that are there, they all are 3 different in nature of what they do, but then it resets it to level 1. So that's a way for you to get one extra big boost, but then, hey, you're going to go ahead. It's kind of like the mini boss has expelled its energy, and now you're going to go back down to level 1 and have to build up again. So there is a trade-off there of do you go ahead and level your mini boss up to that 3rd level, because you are going to go back to level 1 after you do that. And I like that. So that's essentially what we're going to find in Boss Monster Rise of the Mini Bosses. Those are the differences that we're going to see added on to this game. And the one thing that I really want to call out here is I just think they do such a fantastic job with each one of the releases of these games, because they've really cracked the code and figured out they've got a fantastic base game, and they've done a nice job adding on these extra tweaks or mechanics for each one of these releases and not changing the game so much that it feels totally different. Now, I will say that any of this stuff can all be put together. You can combine any of these things and play it as one big massive, you just combine everything if you want. I don't do that because I personally like to keep, and I've said this in every one of my Boss Monster videos, I personally like to keep each one of these Boss Monsters separate. And the reason is because to me it feels like playing through that Legacy Series game where each one is a little bit of a different feel. It's a great night to be able to go to a game night and bring Boss Monster 1, 2, and 3 and just do an epic night of Boss Monster where you play through 1, then you play a game of 2, then you play a game of 3. And they really are different enough as far as the mechanics that are added on the base play of the game, the base system, that it does feel like a different experience. And each one of the experiences are a little bit different, and that's the reason why I personally like to keep each one of them separate and I don't mix them together. I also really think in looking at this version of Boss Monster, the coins, excellent addition. It makes it really fun. It gives you a little something, some form of a chit to sort of build up based on, certain rooms. Once per turn, you may pay gold and choose a hero at the entrance of your dungeon. It cannot enter your dungeon until next turn. So rooms now utilize this gold as well. It just isn't for the mini bosses. There are some rooms that once they destroy, you'll gain more golds. That's a way to really build up your gold reserves. Then there's the balance of how do you spend your gold? Do you just kind of allocate it out over the course of the game for various different things and just kind of keep that gold flowing? Or do you hoard up the gold and really just use it all at the end to level up a bunch of mini bosses? Maybe you build out your dungeon with a few mini bosses and then really just start to level them up there at the very end. Because how do you win, right? You got to get 10 souls, or if you take 5 wounds, you lose. So you're constantly balancing that as you're going through the game. If a hero gets all the way through without dying, you take a wound. If you kill the hero, then you gain those souls, and obviously the epic there are worth more souls than the regular heroes. So I like that balance as well. I think the addition of the mini bosses was a really, really innovative way of being able to keep with the theme and still give the players more functionality, making the rooms more robust, because it really gives you a high level of customization now. Because when they just had the standard rooms, then you were able to do the upgrade rooms. That allowed you to customize those rooms a little bit more. What the mini bosses allow you to do is just another level of customization to not just your room, but your dungeon in total, as you select which mini bosses you want to put into your dungeon and how they might affect a hero as that hero goes through and tries to get all the way to the boss which I'm pretty good and usually kill all my heroes before they're ready to get through. Now, I don't think I've ever actually lost this game, to tell you the truth. I don't know, Bear. You can hold me to that, but no, you've never beaten me at this game. You have never beaten me at this game, dude. You lose every time. Okay, all right. Right after this, we're going to play Minibosses. Again, you and me. We'll see who wins. Because you look like you're doing a whole bunch of nothing. All right, that's Boss Monster 3, Rise of the Minibosses. Remember, this is going to be coming in the August time frame. If you're a Boss Monster fan, you're going to want to go out and pick this up. Trust me. And again, team, these games come at an incredibly low price point for the value and the fun and the gameplay that you get here. I think you'll be really surprised. So go check these out. Pick up the platform. Pick up these games. You're not going to be sorry. So hit that like. Click the subscribe below to join the team. Roll them crits. This has been the McGuire Review, and we'll see you next time. Let's go, Bear!